This is the very first premiere episode of the Progression Fantasy Podcast. Wow. I'm your host, Joel, and I see you giggling over there.
Yeah.
So why don't we get into this? Because I need to introduce our guests today. We have to my right, uh, Brandon. He has been a longtime friend. He's been active in the lit RPG community for even longer. He's done some editing. Right now he's doing merchandising for different authors and stuff. Definitely go check him out. Brandon, how we doing today?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. It's damn nice out. We finally stopped snowing here. I'm no longer trapped in my own house. That's phenomenal. So yeah, I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, Joel?
I'm pumped. I am
Pumped?
pumped and
I'm pumped that we've got one of our very good friends here that's waiting on us and staring at us like we're morons, and it's wonderful.
yeah. So why don't we introduce our other guest, the man who needs no introduction, uh, the author of one of my favorite completed lit RPG series,
Well, it's not
Michael
like
Chatfield.
I
How we
mean, to
doing?
be fair, that is also
terrified, man.
true. It is in my top 5.
Wow. Cheers, dudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us. And yeah, it also has it's paused snowing. I'm not gonna say it stopped, but it's paused for
Yeah.
at least 10 minutes.
We
Hopefully-
had snow 2 days ago, so I'm just hoping it's finally done. I wanted snow so much because like Christmas, it was 80 degrees outside,
Oh,
and then suddenly winter decided it all needed to hit at once, and so I was like without power for a few days, running off a generator, and then I was just like, all right, cool. Even with a 4-wheel drive massive truck, I'm stuck in my driveway.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it is
a
the
little
biggest
over-
toy you've got.
We got
No,
a little-
I got a backhoe.
So that first time it snowed, we got a little over a foot, and I had to shovel out my entire driveway. And then the other day, we probably got like maybe an inch or two of like powdery stuff. Easy enough.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like we have had so much snow that when I came back to here, there was like a solid half foot of ice that had laid down, and the city was like, yeah, we need to deal with that. And so they basically got every person that could do like any kind of mechanical, like, hey, you got a truck, you got a crane, you can do a backhoe, everything. They just got them all going down the streets just to clear it out. And it was just like, oh yeah, I guess that is an accident waiting to happen.
No.
Yeah, it's also like you can't stop sometimes, because if you stop, you're stuck, and then you're like, no, just. But it's like kind of nice because like I haven't had a winter like this in a long time,
That
and I hopefully will not ever again. So
it was one of those where it was like I haven't really had a good snow outside of when I was living way up north since I was a kid. I was like, you know what? I want a white Christmas. I just want to, pretty and the idyllic. I was like, okay, it's 80. I want snow at some point this winter. Would you like 3 feet of snow at once? That's not what I asked for. Well, you kept asking for it, so it's coming.
Yeah. Well, may your wish be granted.
Poof.
I want to go outside and make a snowman, and then I realize how many layers I got to put on. I'm like,
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to ignore the adult wisdom and just have whimsy, Joel.
drink some hot chocolate. There's my whimsy.
Yeah, you put a little whiskey in the hot chocolate and build the snowman, okay?
You get me.
We start calling that the Canadian sweater, when you just have a few drinks before you go out, just so you can warm up.
Yeah.
I do not know how the girls do it when they go out to the bar, and you're like, you didn't want to pay coat check, so you went with hypothermia. Gotcha. Not the choice I would have gone with, but I do appreciate like how determined you are to wear shorts in like -20.
So On the same line, I've been going to gym with my good friend Paul Noodle, the other one that owns the company, the merchandising. And so he sometimes brings his daughter with, who's like in grade school. Okay, younger kid. Every time she shows up without a coat or has like a hoodie wrapped around her waist, I'm just like, how are you not freezing? You are 75 pounds.
I think it is the thing of like, especially with kids, they just get so warm from like running around and having
Mhm.
just energy. And then you're like, oh, my knee hurts just seeing that. And
It's
you're
like
like,
I
all
am
right,
essentially in a parka, like I am in a full like workman's coat right now. I am shivering.
yeah,
And I'm massive and have fat here as layers. Like, what is fueling you?
this is very fair.
Metabolism. That's
My missing metabolism. That's where it
yeah.
went. The children.
So we got a little off topic, but why don't we circle back around to what we're here for? So this month, I'm having each episode be from the regression series. Regression is my personal favorite series, and it's the start of a new podcast. I'm restarting it, and so we are talking restarting the apocalypse.
I love how you work that out.
Right?
Yeah, no,
Just a slow clap, golf clap.
but yeah, like regression is super fun. Like I don't know, I really enjoy it. Well,
It's definitely one of my favorite
start
genres.
it.
For
One would hope that you would enjoy
regression
it.
fans.
You are writing it.
Yeah, that is the part. No, I think you got to be obsessed about something to write it because you're looking at like I don't know, like a couple of years just to finish a series,
Yeah.
or and it just an insane amount of hours just staring at the screen, being like, yeah, this is gonna be cool.
And
But
for it to be good enough for people to then also not go like, well, you messed up all of this. You have
yeah,
to be into that subject, especially with our fan base.
yeah, and I think, but that said, you have to be like, okay, how do you want to write that story?
Hmm.
Because there is like so many different kinds of even regression, right?
Mhm.
We've got like OP main character. Usually, it's OP main characters coming back because that's kind of just super fun. Of like, well, you
Yeah.
know what's gonna happen. Let's go do the cool stuff. Um, but yeah, like there's a quote I heard, and I was like, I love that quote, but it annoys me in a couple ways. The quote was, "If you went back in time, how would you do things differently?" And we all have, an idea of what we would do differently.
Mm.
But the reverse of that quote is, what like we think that we change one thing in the past, it has a butterfly effect through everything.
Mhm.
But we go, if there's nothing that I can do right now that would have a butterfly effect in the future. Like
That,
it's a weird dichotomy of like, oh, like I'm drinking water instead of whiskey today, right?
mhm.
We're advancing here, people. But when we like doing that is like, oh well, that's going to be a different choice, and then it has a unraveling of choices. So it's kind of cool of like, oh, when you see like a regression story, like um, if they do one thing differently, it has a whole different outcome.
Yep.
It's kind of cool, kind of
Uh,
annoying,
Yeah.
kind of cool.
I mean, I've always agreed with that. What you're going on there, where it's just like, if I go in the past and I step like literally the butterfly effect, if I step on a butterfly, a tornado is going to happen 10 years from now. Why it's making the decision to go to the gym today or drink water? Why can I not make those and make the same drastic effects in my life?
100%. Yeah. So it's kind of cool when you have all these choices. And like, I think sometimes with regression, it's interesting because your choices can be crippling, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
If you make one choice that has an effect you don't want it to have, and you're stuck with it. Um, unless you're doing like time loop. And then that's interesting because it's like the massaging of it all. Like,
Mm.
okay, I need to work this again and again and again to get that perfect thing. Like I think the perfect run, ironically, named that way, kind of hits on the time loop effect a lot because it's like, hey, I have to do this run perfectly
Hmm.
and then I can advance to the next part. If I
Yeah.
don't, then it doesn't happen at all.
One thing I love about time loop series is that it kind of has a detective aspect to it where you're don't get a full picture starting out, and you have to figure out all the little breadcrumbs of like what's going on, what can I do to change it, you know?
Then it
I think the
usually,
depth of the story too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it usually gives you a weaker main character as well, because you will see them grow in power as they go like, all right, I need to do this, I need to do this. So by the end of it, you have the guy that looks like he's damn near omniscient, and that's because I've been here 5,000 times already.
Mhm.
I know that that person's about to drop that, which I need to grab and throw it over there so I can stop them from doing this. It's like, you look like Neo from the Matrix. And oh, no. I have done this so many times that it's muscle memory, and I think I've done this while I'm asleep at this point at least once.
Mhm.
Well, why are you back here? I forgot the light switch.
Yeah. Like,
As opposed to, say, regression series where they sort of start out as competent,
mhm.
just from like all that they lived through. Most of the time, they're coming from being the lone survivor at the end of the apocalypse, and they're coming back with all that competency, and they get to use that to gain their power very quickly.
I think that's actually really interesting what you said there, like competency. Because
Mhm.
competency in regression stories, I think, is a huge
Mm-hmm.
part of it. Because if you have someone coming back in time and they have no idea what they're doing, you're like, okay, like you kind of know what's going out, but like you're not maximizing it, right? It's like,
Mhm.
we have those things where we're like, oh, if I came back in 2008, I would have done this. If I came back in 2001, I'd do this. If I came back in 1950, I'd do this. It's like, oh, like it's a fun thing to run through. It's also interesting. There's a scene when Len and Rick come back, and like Len is just writing stuff down, and Rick is
Mm-hmm.
like, "What
Mhm.
you doing there, buddy?" And he's like, Do you remember what it was like being an apprentice?" He's like, "Oh, it's like 120 years ago, man. Like,
Yeah.
no." He's like write everything down because like your memory is fallible, and so you're like, okay, I need to remember as much as possible, and so like you write a timeline, but like if you're not good with like dates, like most guys are not as good as dates as women are. I think that's a pretty accurate description there.
Yeah.
Um, but like if you don't know the date that like something actually 100% happened on, you kind of like go, okay, this thing happened, then this thing happened. Wait, did this thing happen before this or after
Mhm.
this?
You're sitting there
And
with the
so
red string going like, I think this one, this one, this one, and then this one. And because of this one, that one happened. So we need to stop that one especially.
yeah, and like it can be overwhelming of like there's so many decisions you can make and the ripples that it has, which I don't know, that's kind of super fun because then your characters are, oh, we regressed back in time and we essentially changed the way that everything's going to turn out,
We
but we
did
don't
4
know how.
actions, but we messed up
So
everything for the future. So we've got like a good 30 things we know will happen. Everything else is up in the air now.
Yeah.
Oops, I
right.
think.
So
Yeah.
before we get too far into this, would you like to do a really quick synopsis summary of restarting the apocalypse? Chatfield.
So yeah, okay. I guess Restarting the Apocalypse. There's two guys who went through the apocalypse,
Mhm.
and they basically, yeah, I know, it's a surprise. It's literally on the books. So they go through the apocalypse. They deal with a whole bunch of stuff, and they there's like when you have an apocalypse, everything else keeps not being great for a really long period of time. Finally everything starts turning up sunshine and rainbows for them, and then another group, a cultivator sect essentially, and comes over to the planet that they're in, which is called Uriel. It's like essentially alternate Earth, and they start doing stuff. The basic premise is two old dudes come back to restart before the apocalypse and try and make sure that humanity doesn't fall apart this time. um, yeah, they just try real hard. And sometimes that's great, and sometimes that's not, because they're people. And
I've read your books, Chatfield.
Rick is a little dumb. So yeah, there is a scene that I just had to write with Rick. It wasn't. It was actually Len, and Len comes up with a saying, which is WWRD, which is what would Rick do?
Did he proceed
Which
to blow it up?
no, he proceeded to wreck the entire economy of a kingdom.
That sounds about right, yeah.
In a night, and then yeah, it was interesting. Oopsies. Oops.
Yeah. I would like to bring up, like, you touched on this, but the fact that in their Gretchen, it's the writing it down. Very seldom do I see that in these series. Because not only is it, the human mind is fallible, that is the moment when you remember the most. There's no new information incoming. It's all right, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. All right, I'm going to write it down immediately. And especially in a series like this, where it's the lit RPG world. So we've got stats and things that elevate you. And he went from having the mind of an immortal to he's a teenage kid again with 0 stats. So you were back to yourself as a high schooler. Let me tell you, there's a whole lot of things I forgot while I was there, let alone now.
Yeah. Like one part he has when they're staying stuff down, I was like Lemons goes, okay, what was the last things you were working on? Because that's the most advanced thing that you know and you understand. Now, if you know how the most advanced thing works, you can probably backfill to the most simple rudimentary way, but you can also go, okay, how do I speed up this process as much as possible, which is a heck of a lot of fun. Like, yeah, but we've got like city building, we've got crafting, we got 2 dudes just trying to figure it out. Yeah, exactly.
Seems most of the time while reading the series, it's Lynn trying to figure out how to get Rick to do it and not just build a city.
Yeah, he really likes building, man. Like,
I mean, as an avid crafter myself, especially when we get in the video games, it's like, all right, what are you guys doing? All right, I'm going to go off and kill all of these. I'm going to take care of these. I'm going to do these quests. Hey, Brandon, what are you doing? So we have 6 different kingdoms with outlying defenses at 3 deep.
Yeah.
Dude, like, this is Minecraft. Why do we need that?
It's more fun.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, and like it is like I think it's really fun for them because the world that they knew, when you have a breakdown of society with apocalypse, people stop trusting one another. And so actually the biggest advantage that they have is working with other people, which is kind of a common theme I realize for me with my stories is like, hey, together we're stronger than apart, and just watch us slap noobs.
So what you're saying is they're beating everyone with the power of friendship.
100%.
And this gun I made.
Maybe the power of love, except when they do their switcheroo, it's mostly Rick trying to not fall over while he's got his foot stuck in his pants.
That's
no Sailor Moon, but
I love that. It's the Lynn immediately. All right, I'm writing things down. I'm getting what money and items I have together. I'm immediately going to try to find Rick. All right, I need to figure out how to put on pants. Step 1. Step 2. I need to go punch a kid in the face.
Yeah.
Step 3. Let's get kicked out of the academy.
There is literally a point where
Step 4. We're now in debt to a man.
Yeah. I'm in debt to my friend. Step 5, like literally rob someone in front of the police. Like, I don't know how that goes. Yeah,
I just love that particular dynamic, especially when we go from like the last series where we saw this kind of dynamic, 2 dudes. Both of them were generally competent in what they were doing. The 10 realms. Both of them were professionals in their particular fields, and then going onwards into the 10 realms and dealing with all of that. Then you've got, all right, Rick, I was a mercenary that was dealing with the apocalypse. You know how often I had to deal with no pants? You forget sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, Lynn, who's like, All right, so I was your NCO for the entirety of this. I've had to make sure that people were fed the entire time I've been dealing with you. Here are your pants and the money you forgot. And now here's your passport because we need to leave right now.
Yeah, it is a fun. I think it is fun doing two people going back in time because
Mhm.
nearly always it's one guy goes back in time and that's it.
Mhm.
Um,
Constantly keeping the secret and dealing with that stress and making that entire thing. And it's, while good, is a repeat.
it's also super like I would be like, oh, that's like super lonely and like
Mhm.
you've literally lived a life. Like Len was married, like
Yep.
there is okay, that's gone. That like you can't have that same relationship with someone else because it just will not happen the same. It's
Mhm.
as they meet characters that they've known and they're going, "Hey, I don't know who you are." Like they don't. Um that is it's kind of heartbreaking. And then like Leonard and Rick are just kind of like they have to laugh it off because it's either that or they just go, "Oh man, this is just so rough." But they like there's a weight on their shoulders of, hey, all of these people died so that we can do this. Better not make sure, man, better make sure that doesn't happen again. Like whoopsies. Yeah, like that's
The the two old grizzled soldiers now back with no knee pain and hair. Um
oh man, he really talks about that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
but the two grizzled soldiers that are brothers more in covenant than they ever could be in blood. I fucking love it. Like I don't know of another series where I go like, all right, we have two characters that are so in step that multiple times you have them literally not talking to each other. It is weird grunts and just throwing things.
Yeah.
Which, as someone that has been around a lot of people like that in my life, where it is like, oh no, that is entirely real, and I love that you've done it damn near perfectly. Where it's just the, you don't have to say anything. It is just the, all right, whose car are we gonna take type mentality.
Yeah. I
See,
it,
and this is the thing, like, I was on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, because
It's because you're on the
whenever I
spectrum, Joel.
approached you at,
So am I.
Lit RPG Con, Chatfield, one of the things I brought up was that one of the when you have the characters that are, like, 2 military guys, and, because you did it for 10 Realms as well,
mhm,
um, but in 10 Realms, you have Rick or, uh Rugrat,
mhm,
and Rugrat is a character.
mhm,
Like, he you fall in love with him, like, whether you want to or not. And I didn't really have that for my first read,
mhm,
through, Restarting the Apocalypse Book 1, but Gary Furlong does an amazing job as Rick
mhm.
because, he gives him this, like, almost, uh, Jason Statham vibes
Yeah.
is what I got from, Rick, and it just added so much character and made
I,
me fall in love with the character,
I now
and
need to go
yeah,
listen to this because I'm just mostly a reader. So just like that sounds hilarious.
right?
It is okay. So I think the narrators do some kind of magic when they get a book, like because audio is such a cool part of this.
Mhm.
Um, like and Gary like just kicks ass, which and so it's a lot of fun. It is interesting because like Rugrat and Eric, right, the two characters from Ten Realms, they're younger. They're like third, like they're beaten up and they're old, but they're like 33,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm,
Whereas these guys are like Len and Rick are 150-ish years old. They are like, there's a joke that they keep making is like, man, you're as old as dirt. And it's like, no, dirt's young compared to you. Because like the two of them just have this kind of banter, but it's also an understanding between one another of like, if you've lived with someone for 10 years, you know them incredibly well. If you live with someone for 20 years, like, yeah, 50 years, you're basically up one another's opposite sides of the brain. 150 years, like you could probably figure out how their brain's going, but you don't want to anymore because you've seen the deviousness of it, and you're like, no, that is not what I want to do today. But it does make it so that their interactions are a little different. Like
Mhm.
when younger characters, people usually are more forward. To Len and Rick, they have fronts, but it's very rare that we see behind it.
Mhm.
Like there's one where like Leonard like Rick seems to have like boundless enthusiasm and joy. Um but he's using that to basically be like, okay, we got to go. We got to keep pushing. And like the two of them, when something happens that slows down progress, the two of them are like, we need to figure this out right away. And you get to see them like just attack the problem as much as possible.
Yep.
And but like I can definitely see like Rugrat is a character who is like he's just so large, right? Um, which is a lot of fun, but also I think that like people will say, oh well, you've got the two series with two partnerships, and I'm like yes, but Eric and Rugrat are very different from Len and Rick of how they
Mm.
do it, and that's because of their backgrounds and their history and how they're kind of like associated with one another.
So, we got a question from an audience member. So, what inspired you to write Restarting the Apocalypse? Uh,
Um,
Kyle. Nice to see you in here, bud.
it's you know what? Okay, I like stories. Um, I think the big part to me was I write what I like to read a lot of times, and so I was
Mhm.
really liking regression stories. I was finding them as so much fun, but I was reading a lot of actually Korean
Yep.
regression stories, and like they're really good. But I find that especially with a manhwa, you don't get as much depth of character. And I
Mhm.
really wanted to show what's the depth of character, what's like the kind of behind the scenes, and like my stories usually go into what's the nuts and bolts of how we make this work, which I find super exciting because it's like, hey, we made this piece of gear, and like like in the manhwa, it's like, and we win everything. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we made this one piece of gear which allowed us to go do this thing, then take over this thing, and because we took over this thing, we could do this thing here, and now we basically have turned this thing into a factory that builds this stuff which allows us to do this thing and then do, and it's like that kind of interconnectedness of like I always like the characters and the world. It's earned. It's not we're gonna just leapfrog our way forward. Which I know that we were talking about Joel at Lit RPG Con of like, okay, I
Mhm.
want to see where they're gonna go, and it's like because it's that foreshadowing thing which
Mhm.
happens in like regression stories so much of like, oh, we do this thing, we're gonna get here, and then you kind of see that.
Mhm.
Um, I find that hard because I don't want to take joy out of the moment that it happens in the story compared to like, okay, we've just started this thing. And like people are like, oh, that's like, okay, cool, you got that thing. And then it's like 20 chapters later, we got this thing. And they're like, wait, how? It's like, oh yeah, that small thing that we did over there had this impact. And so it's
Yeah.
like it's this weird, where do you have your payoff? How do you want to do your payoff?
So, which way do
Um,
you prefer?
I definitely like the payoff at the end because it's like building block, building block, building block, building block. Then you just see it all come together. And
It
so,
feels like an earned thing instead of just like you were handed this achievement.
yeah, it's like you had to grind to get each part of this. And now you've got all these parts. It just starts like it's like that. It's like when you stack stats, right? It's like, oh, I got 3% bonus. Okay, I gotta go find the other 3% bonus for the set and
Mhm.
like get all the pieces. Then once you get it all together, you're like, okay, now we can go do more. It's like, was it Oblivion or Skyrim where you get the enchantment for like increased smithing, and there's
Uh,
like
So that's Skyrim. So you can do the enchantment for smithing and the
Mhm.
potion for it, and you just
Mhm.
it's the fortification boost. So you just keep going back and forth until suddenly you have a weapon that's doing integer damage.
Yeah.
How much damage do you do? The highest that I can do.
Yeah. I actually did that yesterday where I was figuring out something, and then I was talking to another author, and I was like, I'm glad that I was like, I can't do that because I just ran the math on it, and Excel about near killed itself. Because it was like, I was like, okay, let's take like 2 zeros out of that. And then it was like, this is 256 trillion. I was like, oh yeah.
Ooh. Mm.
Yeah. And then like talking to the other author, he's like, so what? You like wave your hand and the planet moves? And it's like, yeah, you do the chicken dance and you go to another solar system. He's like, yeah, this is what authors talk about on a Friday.
I mean, yeah. I'm also really glad that you brought up the manhwas, because like that's most of my like easy content, especially between editing and things like that, because it's just like I'm gonna grab a chapter or two here and just
Mhm.
scroll through it.
Mhm.
And you're right, most of them it's like it's an instant gratification type thing. I think there's only like one that I've been reading lately that's damn good, and that's it's like Regressing Night. And it's
Mhm.
a time loop one where it's legitimately dude
Oh,
just
the eternally
wants,
regressing night.
yes, eternally
Yeah.
regressing night. And it's just the, all right, I want to be a knight. I have literally no talent, but for some reason the Reaper cannot take me. So I just keep repeating the same day over and over and learning the skill or whatever I need to learn for this particular moment until I pass it, until I get to the next checkpoint.
And I think like that's an interest. Like I love like
I
I'm also
love that
this
one. The,
year.
the just
Yeah.
checkpoint, because the only other time it's like I've seen it is what was the name of that series? The anime that makes me really depressed.
Oh
Uh,
gosh.
I know that's definitely, you know,
That narrows it
Oh,
devastation.
down a lot.
is
Uh,
that the one with the two maid sisters?
yes,
Oh,
ReZero, is it?
ReZero,
ReZero, yeah.
Yeah.
where like by the time you get to the end of it, it's just like, so anyway, I have to go watch something else so that I have emotions again. What did I just watch?
Yeah. That's on the other end where it's super hard grind. Where it's
You have
like,
a dude that has no idea what's going on ever, and every time he tries to make it better, somehow something worse is happening.
yeah, he's like, well, I like so much death to that guy. But like I like restarting the apocalypse is very much in the theme of the eternally regressing night because it is, yes, you know what's coming in the future. So prepare for it because there's
Mhm.
not like a, hey, go hire this one person and that's going to get you past everything.
Yeah.
Because that's like too plot armor to me.
Mhm.
Like you're gonna have
And
like
how much can we get into the story? Like, how much can we quote unquote spoil about what's happening in your series?
I guess we should just say references around it.
Well, it's like, so
Code words.
you have the big thing that happens at the end, that were the end of book one, which is also the reason that they got sent back,
Hmm.
and thus is what starts the issues for a good half of two.
Oh, so many more issues. So
Well,
many
there's
issues.
so many issues later as well, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
you've got the battles and stuff that start out too, and a lot of the issues they hit there,
Hmm.
because it's like, we know this is a problem. We need to take care of it. We're going to take care of it no matter what it is. But because we did that, there is this massive list of issues that come forth
Hmm.
that we now also have to take care of. And just this alone has Butterfly affected so hard that
Yeah.
we have no idea what we can do about it other than surround it with artillery.
Yeah.
That is a
Like,
problem for Tomorrowland, and he's pissed about it.
yeah. And past Len is feeling bad for future Len, and future Len wants to slap past Len. It's
Yeah.
it's a whole
It's
it's a
like
whole
we've
time looping
stopped
cycle.
one massive issue that we know is coming,
Yeah.
but in the process created an almost equally large issue.
Yeah. And like
Mhm.
that, like, and that's part of it, right? Like they can try to change things and it may go absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
And that's like it's that kind of thing of like, oh, if you went back in time, you'd kill Hitler, and it's like, yes, but would that actually stop everything?
With history as it was at that point in time, probably not. There'd just be another dude with a weirder mustache.
Yeah. So like you just like, and that's the argument, right? It's like the argument of we just have to try, and it's also like it's hard on Len and Rick because they're like, hey, we went and did this thing which we thought was going to be great. Didn't realize there was another problem associated with that. Yeah, just stepped our foot into that one, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah,
It's like Joel and I, we have been talking for honestly the past couple months, just talking about the series because I love it. But like book 2, you go from, all right, we are train speed ahead, like we are about to, rush ramshod through everything. And then you have the audits.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you hit a brick wall. And for me, pacing wise, I'm just like, dear Lord, that was a punch in the face. What just happened? But it's one of those, that is a butterfly effect. You have saved this, you've got this going on, and you've done a few things to help technically. And now you have the politics of the time that honestly would have already been shattered. They're messing with you because they're still, as healthy as they were pre-apocalypse.
Yeah. Which has its own problems too. Like
everybody's playing their power games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready for the apocalypse to just kick off so they don't have to worry about that anymore. They're just going to keep kicking that can down the road until they don't have to worry about it anymore.
Just like, just another year. And like, honestly, I don't think it's a big thing because it's like, Leonard kind of talk about this right away. It's like before the apocalypse even happens, there's a civil war that rips apart their country. This is how they originally meet.
Yeah.
Len and Rick. Len had left his family to go work in Escon, which is the capital city of Plenthea, which is the kingdom that they live in. Much to Joel's annoyance with kingdoms. But
we'll explain to you, especially European politics during the 1800s later.
Yes,
we'll hit on interesting choice.
We'll talk about that after you're done with your point, Chatfield.
Yeah, go ahead.
But so this civil war happens, and then Rick is forced to be an officer because he's a noble, and then Len meets him up, and the other nobles are like, "Well, you're a useless noble. You're fighting for your family's on the other side, or they're dead at this point. We're just going to send you into a dungeon." And dungeons are unknown places that need to essentially just mass charge them so that you can get people through it, understand what's inside the dungeon, then take everything out of the dungeon, sell it or use it, and then keep sending people into it to clear it out more, to bring back more resources and fuel the civil war that's going on. And then, apocalypse happens at some point. So to Len and Rick, yes, there's a civil war coming, but it's actually minor compared to the apocalypse that
literally everything else is happening.
Yeah. And so they're like, oh, that's happening. They're like, oh, it's so annoying. And it's like, to them, it's like kids playing, because the amount of power that people had when they were at their peak of power is like, oh yeah, you know what? I really feel like that mountain needs to be a bathhouse. And it's like, why, Rick? Why does that need to be a bathhouse? Because now geothermals, and it's got a water source and those kinds of things, but had the power to actually go do that. Now it's like, okay,
I can't just tap it with my hammer and it's done.
Yeah. It's like, ding. Now it's these big fights going on, but it's just people.
Yeah.
That's something that I ask myself in the back of my head while I'm reading these series. They're going through these audits and stuff, and I'm like, how much powerful are the main people in the city as opposed to Rick and Lynn right now? Because if they really wanted to, they could just disappear. You never know what happened to them.
Well, first of all, Joel, that's not how politics works. Somebody knows they're there, and they will come asking, and it's going to be even more annoying. And they don't
nobles
want to be in charge of the kingdom because that's more paperwork. That legitimately, that's because they talk about it a few times in the story where it's like, we could just take over, and he's like, I really don't want to deal with all of them.
Yeah, and it's also knowing the apocalypse is coming, like everything devolves into city states because the areas between cities just get like overrun by these crazy creatures. So it's like, all right, how you can't really like, why would you set up a kingdom in that? You can set up alliances with other groups, but you can't like if you set up a
you
kingdom,
start
it's just
doing
gonna crack.
heavily like the end of 2 and especially throughout 3. Like I love what you're initiating there.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
3 is
interesting.
definitely building up a lot, and
it brought back the
it's
momentum that was
foreshadowing a
kind
lot.
of lost in 2, and I love it. Where I'm just like, all right, 2 is stuff that needed to happen. I know it needed to happen, but dear Lord, 3's here, great.
Yeah, like 3 was. It's also, I think, a ton of fun with the adventures that we see. Like,
Yeah, I was telling Brandon whenever we first got on the call that the first half sort of reminded me of like the start of like some Ocean 11's like heist where they're just going and getting everybody in the crew.
yep.
You're like, son of a bitch, I'm in.
No, because it is never son of a bitch, I'm in. It's son of a bitch, where are you taking me?
No, it's son of a bitch. How do you know my name?
Yeah. Like,
followed with, are we flying right now?
Yeah. And then just like, one of those manual panels where it's like just like a shine of light going across the screen and just like, ah! It's like, yeah.
Be quiet, it's hard to concentrate.
Start shaking. Like, stop it.
Have a book.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, here, this will calm you down. Ooh. Mana dynamics. Cool. Yeah, yes.
She's really stopped complaining. We just keep feeding her books.
Yeah, very, very happy. Yeah, no, those characters are fun. It's also, they are going like, it's a hard part with them because if like kind of going back to, if you regress back in time, there's people you're going to meet that you know them really well. They don't know you at all.
Yeah.
That's it's tricky. It's tricky to navigate that relationship.
Well, it's I love how you've done it. Oh, sorry, Joel, for stepping on you.
No, so I find it really interesting what you did with the plane and how that's going to affect group dynamics. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you've gone through and it's like they're getting the team back together, which that's not really spoiler. It's talked about throughout 1. But they are grabbing them before the atrocities hit them. Yeah, some of them, their lives haven't been great, but you have stopped 90% of what turned them into the jaded POSs that they were, that made them mesh well with the original group, the original Lynn and Rick. And the Lynn and Rick now are just like, we are so old that we're not here for really revenge. We want our friends and family to have the lives that they should have had. So
like
we're trying to fix this as much as possible, that they can still be the people they were to a point. We know that is in them. That is their spirit. That's their soul. Like, no matter tragedies or not, they are still going to be this person or this intelligence. They're still going to have these particular aspects. So they can still help us. They can still be the dream team. They can still be the Titans. But they don't need to also be drinking themselves to death every night too.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how that affects plot moving forward, because they're not as jaded as they used to be, but that can lead into some issues as well with like,
we've already seen that a couple times.
Yeah, like
and
the
then
healer is like super naive or something for some reason, or like maybe like we don't know.
And also what you dropped for the last couple chapters of 3, and all of them seeing
stuff. Yeah.
And it's because really not wanting to hint at that, because it's just like, that is a phenomenal point where it's just like, oh, this takes whatever information it's given to have the best version, especially for these people, and who better than them.
So interesting enough, that wasn't supposed to be a big plot point. I was talking to another author and I was like, okay, so I'm going to have this thing and it teaches people stuff. And he's like, oh, how does it teach people stuff? I'm like, oh, well, it takes the memories. And then, and he's like, oh, so they're going to learn this? And I was like, yeah.
This is why you talk to people, Chatfield.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's a good one right there.
I'm putting two people in here that have seen them at their... never mind. But yeah. If you haven't read it yet, people, go read book 3. It's phenomenal.
I hope you enjoy. Yeah, like he was also, when he read book 3, he's like, okay, what's 4? I need 4 right now.
That's where I'm at. Well, it's like when I talked to you at Literature Con, where I was like, all right, Chatfield, I love this. And we talked a little bit, and I was like, all right, so you got book 2 on you, or...
Yeah, like, give me them goods. Yeah. But book 4 is trust me, it's underway. It's going through the editing process right now, which is awesome. And then I'm working on book 5, which is, this is a lot. But
my only request is don't make it as dark as the middle of 10 Realms.
No, I want that.
But the entire city is gone.
But
we built this city.
The best freaking fight scene in the series.
Yeah, Joel loves the massive fight scenes.
The massive fight scenes are great. I was super sad because it's like everything and my pet are gone.
But they made them pay for every inch.
Yeah,
of course they did.
Yeah,
because we're Americans.
They're like, you know what we got? We got magic and firepower. Damn it.
An entire series about what happens if we bring the Americans into an cultivation.
Essentially,
battle.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
What? So
bullets can't hurt them. They can if we make them explode.
Yeah, like I'll enchant that shit.
Oh, they have domes. We have landmines.
Yeah. There's a couple of points in there where it's like, oh yeah, so like, you know, the city, yeah, it's fine. And then just layers of bunkers appear. This is in the 10 Realms. It's like just bunkers start appearing, and then they're full of like mana cannons, and people are like, why? Why did you do that? And they're like, you know what? We thought 1 wasn't good enough. So we made like 10,000 and just deletes.
We heard this phrase and we liked it. It was called the best defense is a good offense. And what's a better offense than 10,000 artillery cannons?
Yeah, that was now that's also where you have, okay,
you're no longer the enemy, it's dear grid coordinate.
Yes. To whom it may by.
To whom it did concern.
Yeah, you are now atomized. But yeah, I think with I can, you know what, I won't make a comment because I think there's too many spoilers I'm trying to leave around.
I was like, don't spoil the things, especially because I want people to go out there and read it. This is another one of those that I think it's going to be in like my top 10 once you're finally finished, just because you've done so damn good by bringing the characters out and actually having it build.
One of the things that blows me away is just how many long-running completed series this guy does. Like Emerelia.
The Emerelia is the one that's in my top 5.
Emerelia is my...
It's probably 2. Yeah, because
that's pretty damn good for completed.
Well, Challenger's Call is up there at book 1, series 1, and you know.
Unfortunately, World Keeper is a finished series now, so sorry, bud.
I actually, so interesting enough, if anyone wants to sign up for my newsletter, you get to hear me reading Emerelia. And it's like I read it like I did this like last week or whatever, and it was so weird reading Amarillia, and like it was the chapter 2, I think it was, where we have Dave, like Austin becomes Dave, and he's in the game, and it's him being revived, and then walking through the city, and they're like, "Oh, how's it going, man?" And like all of the people in the streets, because there's this like the NPCs,
They treat him like an NPC.
yeah, and he like kind of like scoots under the radar, and they're like, "Oh, cool," and he's not being a jackass like all of the players who were like, "Hey, let's go finish this quest. Okay, let's go get coins. Okay, let's go do this." And he's like, "Could I have a shovel?" And she's like, "Yes, dear, you can have a shovel." He's like,
I would like one shovel, a pickaxe, a backpack, and a map to get the farthest fuck away from everyone.
Yeah. Like, tell me you're a hermit without telling me you're a hermit. And they're like,
I've been dealing with investors and shareholders for the past 10 years. I want nothing to do with anyone anymore.
And then everything turns weird.
And as we all know, especially as men, if given the choice, we will just go dig a hole in the dirt.
Yeah. Yeah. I did that as a kid, and apparently I was too close to the power line.
So that's what's wrong with you.
No, power line was like this. And when we moved house, yeah, I think my dad was supposed to like tell someone about that.
Just didn't.
Because we went past it like a few months afterwards, and there was a work crew that were like fixing the power line because they had to like recompact all of the ground around it and put it straight. And they're like, "Yeah, the fuck happened here?" It's like
my son had a shovel and too much time.
Yeah, diggy hole. Like I think I remember purchasing a pickaxe. Like I was so happy to get a pickaxe and just went to ham because I was like, "Oh, I could use the pickaxe to break up stuff," and then I used the shovel to shovel it out. And my dad's like, "Oh, okay, cool. You have fun with that." Like,
there's a reason that fighting Tetris for the #1 spot in games is Minecraft.
Oh,
we like cubes and digging.
Just give me more of that. It's like, yeah, we'll do that, please. Like,
which is why Rick can only dig holes and build cities.
He probably like diggy hole is probably the ringtone of his life.
Get the Windrose version.
Yeah.
That tracks.
I love how they dressed up for it too. I was like, that's badass. Yeah.
Did you see they actually brought was it Mark out for one of their tours that they did? So the Yogscast are the original creators, Mark.
Yeah.
Mark writing it. They actually brought Mark out and had him sing it with them on their tour there.
That's great.
It happened like a couple months ago. It was phenomenal.
I haven't seen Yogscast in a hot minute.
It's one of those, I needed nostalgia, and I went back and I was watching like Moon Quest. Going back and watching old YouTube things that you watch as a kid.
Yeah.
And you go like, it still feels great because they aren't trying to pander to me about something.
Yeah. And that is a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just fun to write. Like, I admittedly write really long series, but I love doing longer series because then you can get into kind of the small bits and pieces. But it's also like, it's a hard balance to hit of like, have the small pieces, but not so much that you're like, oh man, can we like move on?
Yeah,
there's like tastes.
Yeah, it's you build a world and you make it very much one that you want to learn more of instead of just like I'm being shovel fed items, or it's that drip where I'm sitting there going like, all right, man, hurry up. We've had 45 minutes of political intrigue that'll mean nothing for the rest of this book.
Yeah, like I think that the lit RPG as an indie authors, like you just move so much quicker on series because you're like, hey, like let's just go to the fun stuff and do the fun stuff. Like I was checking out chapter sizes for the 2-week curse back there, and I was looking at the chapters. I'm like, some of these are 4 pages long, and like I was like, oh, I guess that just works.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, this has happened. Cool. Move to the next thing. It was
Yeah.
like, it just doesn't need to be like these massive chapters, or like, it doesn't like, I don't know. It doesn't have to be like
As long as you're
so
getting the
far from
information across and it doesn't feel like you're leaving things out.
Yeah.
It's like editing wise. So I've had some people hand me books where it's like, this is 400,000 words. And I look at it and go like, this could be 100,000 words. There was
Yeah.
so much just extra.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going like, why? This isn't even like fun. It seems like you went through and were trying to thesaurus. You're like trying to write a paper for college where it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
this needs to be 12 pages long when this could be a 1-page paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
a
then,
lot of that. Or the people that hand me it's 50,000 words. It's like, I would love 400,000 words out of this. Like, first of all, you need to have any information in here. This is just dialogue. Second of all, why?
yeah. But
So
I think
this
the second
reminds
is
me
more
of
more first.
so this reminds me of a conversation that I had at LetRPG Con where we were discussing what makes progression fantasy a genre. And to most
Autism.
people, well, maybe not most people, but to some people, it's just it's not a genre at all. It's just having stats, and that's more of like where like a location. It's not like
Mm.
how is it different from like fantasy or whatever. But what sets progression fantasy apart is the fact that we do get to the fun stuff. Like as soon as like whenever we want, pretty much. It is sort of plays off the game loops that people have whenever they're playing video games, where it's just dopamine rush after dopamine rush. And I think that's something that sets the genre aside from like what typically happens for fantasy series or something like that.
I think you know what? Like I would preface that I think that regression is a trope, but
Mhm.
I think one of the key tenets of it, and I've been thinking about this since talking about it, is it's you have information of what can possibly happen in the future in very definitive terms, and
Mm.
it's using that information to change the trajectory of yourself, others, the world, etc. I think that would be my the way I would wrap that.
Yeah.
Um yeah, because like sometimes you have like super OP, sometimes you don't have super OP. But it's literally information. And how can I use that information to actually have a great and massive impact?
It's for both regression and just progression, both of them. I think the big thing is the fact that we have a visual representation of growth. Something that, whether it be statistics, whether it be just words on a page, that is just like you have an identifiable growth pattern
Mm-hmm.
and something to both work towards and work with. Whereas a lot of traditional fantasy, it's, yeah, people grow, but it's just like and then I spent many hours working on my blade forms and I feel a greater competency with them. Whereas, all right, you've got +1 to swordsmanship, or it's, hey, I've spent the past 6 months working my blade and I've unlocked an entire new sword form that's actually identifiable, and I've like given it my name and everything. And it's something that, because we like to get to the sweet bit faster, we then see, all right, we have the growth. It's identifiable. As I'm saying, I'm repeating myself here, but it's identifiable in such a way that you as the reader can go like, yes, I feel like we've succeeded this. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I've earned this. Whereas a lot of the traditional fantasy, you're sitting there, it's like, I've spent 10 chapters talking about this thing and I still don't know what the hell we just talked about.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel sometimes like you can have it like say magic, right? And magic is this thing where usually it takes a lot of time to learn. Well, you can kind of circumvent it a little bit of go
Mhm.
like he worked for 10 days just casting, and then it's like, oh, like boom, finally, and you see this notification. You can do that in like 4 or 5 sentences instead of he did this, then he did this, then he did this, which is fine, but it does dilute it. And you're like, how does this move the story? Because
Yeah.
I think like every chapter I write is like, this has to affect and move the story forward. If it doesn't, then it's like, why is this here?
Yep.
Which, like, I had massive edits in book 3, was it? Yeah, in book 3, where I took out entire scenes because I was like, this happens, like it can happen, but like, why? Like, it doesn't actually push the story forward.
Yeah.
So let's just take it out. And so I had to like remove that entire section because I was like, it bogs it down instead of speeding it up.
You need to go with the pacing, the flow, and if it's not doing something either for the plot or for individual character development that is, as you're saying, going to progress the story, why the hell are we here?
100%. Yeah.
See, it's coming back to that flow, that dopamine that you get from the game loop. So let me ask, do you have any questions or final thoughts you'd like to talk about the series? Either Chatfield and Brandon, something you want to ask us, or
I will say that we do have a release date for book 4.
hell yeah, big hype.
So that's pretty sweet. We also another news, 10 Realms, if you didn't know, is coming to bookstores, which is so freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, so we partner with Athon, and they've got a print run going and all this kind of stuff. I'm going to be actually doing a tour throughout the US, which is going to be pretty cool. We're doing East Coast starting May 18th, in May 18th or 19th in Boston. And then we're going all the way down to Orlando. So that's just the first leg of the journey. We've got 2 others coming up. Dates will be announced and locations will be announced.
It's like, definitely keep us posted because I'll try to get out there at least one of them.
Yeah, because like we're like, okay, if we can get like indies into bookstores, then we can like just start like getting more movement, because like indies into bookstores, like I thought like I was essentially never going to get there unless I went for a traditional deal, and Athon's created a way for us to do this. And so this is a freaking cool opportunity.
Well, it's like Athon's been kicking it out of the park lately with some of the things they've been doing.
Yeah, so it's super cool. So that's the thing. We got more Restarting the Apocalypse coming out. We also we got like website editions.
Oh,
yeah. So we were able, like, because we thought it would be fun, we did different. So this is Restarting the Apocalypse book 2. But as you can see, this is Len and Rick when they were like in like doing the dungeon fighting the first time around, right? So this isn't them as they are right now. So like, you know, where we've got the two sides of it. That's really fun. Actually, do I have one here? No, I don't. Dang it. But where you have like the 2 different sides where it's like, hey, here's the past, here's the future, or like they're looking at a location and it's different. And that's just, it's a lot of fun. We have book 4's cover art coming up, and it looks tasty. Magic, the people who make it actually do the art for Magic the Gathering side thing. It's kind of cool.
I've noticed that there are quite a few authors that seem to go track down some of those because we're all nerds like Magic as well. But it's just like I know
character design.
They do phenomenal character design, and they hit the niche on the head where it's just like you've got exactly the amount of whimsy and detail that we need.
It is interesting because like I can see behind Joel's head, like, you know, there's a few posters he's got up there, and they're different styles for like different backgrounds, right?
So that's 10 Realms. This one.
Yeah, so that's the Korean.
But it's an anime art style. It's the Korean release that spacing on names now. Huh?
Heroes Gate. Yeah, they produced it out in Korea.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's fun to see like in the different mediums how you get like different art come from it. But no, like I'm having a lot of fun with restarting the apocalypse. As I said, I'm working on book 5 now, and so I'm hoping to get that done before I start my tour, because like I know during my tour I'm going to be a little messed up, but I'm hoping
Yeah.
that we can have like I think the target is to have a couple of books out this year for that
Sweet.
series. So
Big
yeah,
hype. Big hype.
It looks like someone's asking, is there going to be any unique merchandise you'll be bringing with you on tour? Anything special you're bringing with?
Yeah, so we will have tour T-shirts, and so it's got all the tour stuff on it. Kind of like we're like, you know, when you go to like a concert and you get those shirts on it, we wanted to get that. That's really cool.
Mhm.
The other
Alright.
thing is that we have book tour exclusive bookmarks. So these are numbered. You can only get them from like me as we're doing this. They look super cool.
Are those
Like
like the
I've got your
metal
one
ones?
from Lit RPG Con. Just
Yeah.
sexy.
I got a couple
Yeah.
over there.
So it'll be similar like size, but these ones are they're done in the style of the 2-Week Curse, the new version of the cover. So
Mhm.
these ones are actually green printed on. They're engraved. They've got like the numbering on them as well, and it's just like you know what's it? It just has Book Tour 2026 down one side, and it's got like sigils. It's got like actually has the some art from the Second Realm where it has like the rune circle up at the top. I got the
Neat.
proofs and I was like, okay, this looks cool. And then it arrived at like one of my team's like homes, and like she was like took a picture of it, and I was like, oh yeah, like I need one of those. So yeah, we're gonna have some cool stuff like that. We may have other things like loot boxes, but we have to talk to the different places we're going to see if that's okay with them or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll have some
Sweet.
cool merch for that. But and then also the books. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And I believe the only question I have is, Joel, do we need to describe the entire geopolitical situation leading up to World War One? And from there, also the technological standpoints, understanding that, yes, there were kingdoms and a lot of the battles were still fought in castles, yet telegraphs and, steam engine existed.
It's hard for me to wrap my mind around, because when someone says World War One, I don't think of kingdoms, even though there were mainly like
There's still
kings
kingdoms,
and
right?
monarchies. Yeah, but in my mind, those are like countries
Those are the
instead of
same
like
thing. It's just the kingdom is
kingdoms.
led by a king. It is a country led by a king. Joel, before we started, said that he did not understand the setting of restarting the apocalypse for all of you listening, mostly because he was listening to them talk about castles and swords and things like that, but also telegrams
weird
or telegraph lines and
jumble.
trains and steam engines for factories and such, forgetting that the 1800s to early 1900s existed.
All right, so are you going to keep taking my words out of context, or are you just going to let me explain myself?
No,
Because
I am
what I'm
forcing this
trying
in
to
there
tell
because it's
you
great.
is that it is a mashup of a bunch of stuff going on at once. You have kingdoms, you have gunpowder and trains, you have rune technology, you have steam technology, you have monsters, creatures. It's just a weird time period for me to wrap my head around, of having an apocalypse, a monster apocalypse happening.
I mean, fair.
It is interesting because like essentially like I put it on this world called Urel because I didn't want it to be Earth, because I like sometimes that limits you in a lot of ways with your story. And also because then I can just make up a whole bunch of different really cool places to go and steal people. But when like it's early 1900s essentially, like era of technology. So yeah, you got trains, but the trains are running on steam. You've got telegraph wires, so those are doing all the thing. And we are having a lot of frictions. And the frictions are, as we see in this time period, nobility is having a harder and harder time to actually exercise their noble powers and control over their domain, because people are like, no, like, how about no? Like, we've got income now, we have ability, and the merchant classes and other people are starting to rise in power. Plinthia, which is the kingdom that they go into, is largely isolated, or able to be isolated, because it's pretty much like surrounded by what's called the Stained Mountain Range, which goes like as like kind of a semicircle from like the south over to the east, which gives them a lot of like stability in that way. Other countries have changed over or haven't changed over. So some places may have castes, and then other places may be, okay, we are like a democracy of some kind, but it's like a founding democracy. And like all of these different kinds of political systems that are kind of working, jiving together.
Mhm.
It is interesting because Len and Rick are working with that as a basis of technology. So in the 10 realms, when we have Rugrat and Eric, when they come over, they are used to gunpowder, and they're used to technology, and they're used to like the common amenities that we have right now. Len and Rick never had that. So they're used to steam engines, they're used to mana being used as a fuel source, and they're used to enchanting. So it's kind of makes a fun, like, to me, it's a fun area, because like I was learning about boiler technologies, and then like being like, okay, this is essentially going to be kind of steampunkish, because it's,
Yeah.
hey, let's take a train, enchant the train, and then make the steam engine work better with enchantments and go that way. It's also like the solar flares that are sending mana across the world mean that the telegraph lines are out, but it also means that like as mana infuses materials, it makes it unstable.
Yeah.
And mana is an inherently unstable force and energy in this universe. And so like your fuel sources, like so your gunpowder, your coal, and your coke, they're like kind of like having this weird changes happening to them. And as they get like hit with more mana, it can mean that they have random effects. So that is like blowing out steam engines. It's causing guns to either, it's like you fire and it's like beep, or you fire and the entire thing explodes. And so like the like, mana is suffusing the world, and so this is a little bit of weirdness. So right now it's going to be like when they start, it's really weird because mana is just proliferating throughout the world. But as mana like hits a stabilization, a normalization area, then we start to have, okay, you could have firearms. But Len and Rick, when they went the first time, they didn't really have firearms until later on, because they were like, well, we got used to fighting with swords and stuff, and then we found out gunpowder worked again, so we had to relearn how to do gunpowder, make
Mhm.
gunpowder good again, and then we had to make weapons good for that. So there's like this weird jostling of series of technologies that goes on because they were dealing with just situations. Whereas this point, they're like, oh, can we just make stable gunpowder now and then
Yeah.
never lose the technology of how to use weapons manufacture? Or
In
like,
fact,
Ooh.
possibly make things
I could see
better
that
than
having a
what we had
major
at the end.
effect
mhm.
as far
It's
as like weapons manufacturing.
you've taken this what is in much comparing it to our world around the late 1800s, early 1900s. This conflicts of change where you've got all these technological changes, political changes, and then also just mindset changes, and then you bring it in the mana system. I love what you've got going on here because it's this massive, once again, conflicts of change where it's
Mhm.
just what's going to come out on top. And you have these two that are going through, and it's like we saw the end result of what we got. What if we give them something akin to our end result? What more can we have by the time we get to the same time period that we
Mhm.
left from?
So one thing I wanted to discuss is what you do with your mana systems is absolutely insane. Like in all your books. Um, one thing that comes to mind is the floating cities in Immerelia. You have
Mhm.
runes that one uh, steals heat from an area, the other steals like cold from an area, and because those two are like right next to each other, acting constantly, it's lifting this entire city into the sky.
Hey
Just
man,
from the
thermodynamics.
Mana
yeah,
dynamics, man.
mana
Mana
dynamics.
dynamics.
And you're doing something really interesting in restarting the apocalypse because you're using the train lines as sort of these mana networks, pathways,
Mhm.
as well as using the wall as a mana battery. And it's just like, ooh, and the dungeons are giving more mana power.
We don't have ley lines, we have train lines.
You have
Ew.
mages that make really good spells coming. I'm just saying, it's all coming together. I'm seeing the big picture, and I'm super excited.
It's also like one thing I really like doing with series is like this is the way that I'm gonna take a direction, but it doesn't mean that there's not a ton of other ways to do this.
Mhm,
Like I've had a series of very long conversations with people, and they're like, "What about like building this?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can totally do that." And they're like, "But why didn't you?" I was like, "I didn't have the idea. Like the characters wouldn't have had that idea in that thought process." But when you say it, like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Um, but like I think that's fun to me because then people go like, "Oh man, it would be so cool if they could do that." And then it's like that's like kind of fun of reading sometimes of
Mm.
like I'm so into this, I'm starting to think of other things in the world.
mhm.
And what we will be seeing is how different cultures use different technologies and different information.
That's
And
exciting.
it's the I would say that Len and Rick's end goal is to essentially make sure Urel is free
Mhm.
of like these other sects that come in and essentially like they go, "Hey, we're going to use this entire planet as materials for us." And it's going, "Yeah, like let's stop that. How do we stop that happening?" It's like, "Oh, well
Have you
you
heard of
make it
my
super
friend
strong."
Magical 50 BMG?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we there is something called a heavy repeater, and that is firing 40 millimeter shells. Um, it's literally looks like an anti-flak cannon, and if you look at book four's finished art, you will see what it looks like, which is just it's a lot of fun. I
Chatfield's been
like making
reading
fun of this
40K
stuff.
again. Got it.
You know what? 40K is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I didn't say anything against this.
No,
I'm so excited for Total War to come out.
oh, that is going to be a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Like
You're gonna make me go play Space Marine 2 again.
hey, it's a great time. I need to
So,
go get my dailies, my weekly on that.
Kyle asked a question earlier. Joel, so when are you getting your book?
Yeah,
Not
Joel.
for a while. Um, yeah, I got a podcast to run now, and on top of that, I'm working full-time job, and so
Slave away,
I guess
Joel.
we'll get to
Right.
it when we get to it.
Hey,
Sorry.
what is writing if not burning out constantly,
All
repeatedly,
the time.
all the time? It's a lot of
Just
fun.
just start hear Mad World slowing in the background. All around me are familiar.
Yeah. That hits a little too close to home. You gotta kind of put the mute on that one.
Oh gosh.
It's like my
Yeah.
fiance, and she's like, "Yeah, it is." He's like, "What are you thinking about?" I'm like, "Enchantments." She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Why not?" Like I'm trying to figure out how I could use these enchantments to have this kind of effect because that would be super cool. And then this thing could happen with this thing, and she's like, "I don't get it." And I was like, and then she'll like leave the room, and then my comeback will be like, "My hallucinations, people enjoy them, I swear." And then she's just like in the other room. She's like, "Sure." I'm like,
It pays for the house.
eh. It's an interesting time when someone's like, "What do you do?" And I start giving interesting responses, Um,
I
like,
make believe so hard that it gives me money.
yeah, I was like, I make other people hallucinate, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, with ink and paper.
So not a drug dealer.
I don't know. I regularly stay up until like 2 a.m. reading something. So
Yeah.
I'm not on my own supply, but I am on someone else's.
That's not helpful. Calm down, Hemingway.
Oh God, yeah. I was talking to Brian the other day. We were like chatting to him, and he's like, "Oh, what is going on?" And just was like drinking a whiskey. And we are like, "What the hell, man?" He's like, "It is 11 o'clock right here. I'm allowed to do anything I want to." And I'm like, "You woke up 3 hours ago." He's like, "Anything I want to," and just keeps on going. Like, fair enough, my dude. Fair enough.
You come to my house, disrespect my whiskey.
Yeah. Plus, it's Ireland, you know? Like, this is great whiskey.
Yeah. It's a damn good gin, too.
Yeah. The gin game's getting strong, especially in the UK and Ireland. Yeah. I think it started in the UK and now it's spread to Ireland.
I just wish the US would figure it out because we can't make a good gin for the death of us. No. It either tastes like grass or it tastes like a pine needle.
Mostly pine needle.
Yeah, like Bombay.
Ooh. Yeah.
It smells like, no offense to people who drink Bombay.
All the offense to people who drink Bombay. I will put that out there.
I had a pine sol cleaner that we used, and it was so abrasive as anyway. It smells like Bombay. And like, I wasn't a gin drinker. I never started off as a gin drinker. And like, I smelled Bombay after having a childhood of using pine sol and just, cleaning things. And I was like, oh, what needs sanitizing? Like, what the heck is this? And then I go and I'm like, oh, like, we have a lot of places that serve alcohol here in my town. It was like so many breweries, and then also like a couple of distilleries. And then they were like, oh, try this out. And I was like, okay. And I had like blueberry gin. I was like, what is this freaking science you've got here? And they're like, it's gin. I was like,
is it?
Okay. Yeah. They're like, we have citrus and raspberry and things that don't taste like you're trying to sniff the inside of, like, I don't know, a toilet bowl. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, we figured out whiskey. We figured out rum. In most every other form of alcohol. Gin, we still haven't figured out, and I don't know why.
I will say I started drinking rum. Ooh, quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's my party drink.
Yeah, it's a good. It's also, if you find like a solid gin, it's also not crazy expensive, but it just tastes really good.
Yeah. Well, it's like a really good gin is that, like, after work, I don't want to get drunk. I just want something that tastes good. Same thing with refreshing. I'll do this. Yeah. I'll do the same with rum, like a good spiced rum. It's just like, all right, I want something that tastes good, and I'm hanging out after work with some friends. Not I'm here to get drunk. Let's go.
Yeah, which not Dragon Con.
Look, man, all I'm saying is we need to figure out how to get those bucket guys to come to Lit RPG Con. Because I remember the year where I was just feeding you buckets.
Yeah, man. If anyone doesn't know, there is buckets that they give you at Dragon Con.
It's like a kid's sand pail.
It really is. Yeah, like I was trying to think of the size of it, but it's a kid's sand
It's
pail.
like a kid's sand pail, and it's just like, depending on how much money you give them, because it's not based off of ounces or anything. It's just you give them $50 and you're gonna get $50 worth.
Yeah, and they're just like, and you just stare at them and you're like,
and some ice and like fruit punch or something they've thrown in there.
Yeah, like it is immediate tooth decay, but like the amount of sugar in that thing, but like it's great. And then
the amount of those that are drank on the that one like author get together night in the basement, Dragon Con.
Oh yeah. Oh, the comedy panel.
The comedy panel, that too.
Oh, I know what you're talking. Yes, in the basement. Yes.
Yeah. Where it's like where all the authors supposed to get together and flaunt their books, the fantasy gather, and it's just like, so we have all the people that have nothing to do with Lit RPG, and then we have the alcoholics. I mean, the Lit RPG.
Yeah. At any given time,
but we're smiling. They're not.
Like we're having a great time, and they're like, "What is wrong with you guys?" And they're like,
We know how to enjoy a con. What's wrong with you?
"We're having a good time." Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, with Lit RPG Con, we have that one bar,
Yeah.
and those poor people, like they're
I
they're having a great
Yeah.
weekend, but like, damn.
wait, did you not know to come over to? I had a backpack full.
Yeah, that was I walked in and then Jay was like, "Hey, Chatfield," and I was like, "Hey, man," and he's like, "Here," and I was like, "All right, what is this?" And he's like, "Give it a go," and I tasted it. It was like really good whiskey. I was like,
Oh yeah, that was probably for me.
Yeah, probably because he had like the bag that he was sitting next to with
Oh
So,
yeah,
but
the
like,
green backpack. Yeah, that was mine. So
okay,
that was Whitestone Courage, the whiskey that was made to go with Critical Role. I have another
that's pretty
bottle that I'm going to be bringing with me this year as well, because it's one of those. It's like $130,
Mhm.
but it's one of the few whiskeys I go like I am willing to pay that for what this tasted like.
Yeah. It's like it's when you have nice things. It's like, okay, this is worth it, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and like we're lucky with the community. Like, I was talking about this with someone else the other day. I was like, we're lucky with the community that we have of like it's a lot of cool people doing
Yeah.
cool things and just like excited for one another.
We're all happy that we're all here. We want to lift each other up because we want to all succeed. We love that we're all here and the fact we're making something together.
That's just a ton of fun.
I don't really know of many other communities out there where we all actively love each other, and it's just like, no, we want to keep going. We want to keep having these events and having more growth so that we can go like, hey guys, this isn't for the money. This is for we want to hang out with each other. Lit RPG Con kind of came about because it was too loud at Dragon Con. We couldn't find each other. We couldn't sit together. All right, we're gonna go do our own thing with blackjack.
Yeah, and like
now you know where to find each other. Just follow the noise.
Yeah. It's fun because like especially with that con, there's like people who are like, oh yeah, I'm not usually very social. And it's like then you talk to them and they're like being super social and you're like, not very social. But it's like, oh well, because I am hanging out with people who it's just it's so much fun to hang out with these people.
Yeah.
And hey, we're talking about stuff that we understand. Like we all get this, we all have fun with it. Yeah.
Most of us are introverts. It is just we're in this specific location where we know we can be safe with each other and be nerdy.
Yeah.
It's all something we're passionate about. And that means we can literally talk for hours about it. So.
I mean,
well,
point, we've been here for an hour and a half.
We've been here for an hour and a half. Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, should probably start wrapping up. So
I think we did that 30 minutes ago.
Because I didn't
wibbly wobbly, man.
Time is an illusion. Don't bring that here.
Goodbyes or anything, or thank yous. So, on that note, I'd like to thank you guys for coming on. It was a fantastic show. I'd like to thank everybody watching. Thank you for being at the very first episode. Please hit that subscribe button. Catch us next time. We're going to have Bruce Centaur and Jess
awesome.
from Jess.
You good there?
Yeah, I'm good. Sorry. Jessica Wargo.
There you go.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to have her on. We have Regression, Harem, Spicy on Valentine's Day weekend. So
there you go.
Come hang out for that. Should be a lot of fun. And the weekend after that, we have Daniel Wisniewski. He does quite a few regression series we're probably going to be talking about. There is Apocalypse Regression. He does cultivator, like start an evil sect cultivator. I forget what the title is right now off the top of my head. But that should be a really fun episode. I don't know if I have anyone on, or
You're having
I
Paul
don't
come on.
have someone finalized for that episode.
You have Paul come on for that one, don't you?
No. So the week after that, we're going to have Adam Stubbs on, where we are talking Reborn Apocalypse, which is one of my all-time favorite regression series. And that one we're going to have Paul on, and that should be a lot of fun because he is phenomenal narrator. He does this over-the-top anime style where it's like, and he died instantly. And it's so good. So stay tuned for that. That's the rest of Regression Month. And I'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody, for having us on.
Have a good one. Thank you.